pass his pre-match physical, suffering a bulged disc. And then from there, MVP and Bobby Lashley would come out there for a promo. MVP would say that nobody would dare challenge the almighty Bobby Lashley, and then he'd also say that he would declare himself the winner by forfeit, and because of that, he would now declare himself the new United States champion.
Yeah, let's move on.
Well, so is this going to be like, we'll talk about this a little bit later too. I mean, we've already harped on it, I guess. I mean, we'll go into more detail, I guess, a little bit on the match itself. But so they did the forfeit thing here, and then they had the finish to the Raw Women's title match. So are they just going to run with this where like they're the actual champions now, or it's like, what's going on?
Cameron, we have no fucking clue what they're going to do. They do whatever the fuck they're going to do, and we just have to put up with it.
Oh, Byron Saxton actually had a good point where he's like, so he made himself a championship, then he declared himself like the actual champion, just walked off. No, but, well, I'm also not a huge fan of that new U.S. title belt. Like, it's not the worst belt I've ever seen, but the old belt was way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bringing in a title of your own and then making yourself the champion, yeah, he's not Moose and he doesn't have the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. But after that, we would have the eye for an eye match.
I think we went in depth into this one earlier.
Yeah, this one I actually think we talked about quite a bit, so we don't have to really say much about it here. But
star-wise, this one, I gave this 1 star.
I didn't even do that. Well, to me, it's like, the thing is, like, what they were doing in the match wasn't necessarily bad. Like, if it was no DQ and they didn't have, like, the stip of how to win and everything, I actually could have gotten could have gotten more into it. I mean, the storyline's kind of goofy as it is, but it's like, I could have gotten into it definitely more, but it's like, the problem is I couldn't get into it or couldn't call it good. I couldn't say anything like really super positive about it just because it's like, it's an eye for an eye and you gotta gouge out someone's eye. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So obviously Rey Mysterio would lose that one and he'd lose his eye, I guess. And people were saying it was going to be done like by a CGI and whatnot, but I don't even think it even qualifies as CGI. Like it looked like it was just a fake eye to begin with, which obviously it was.
Looked like shit.
No, it was a fake eye, but it looked like it was just like he could have just been holding it like on his hand or something when he was like putting his hand near his eye and stuff. So it's like, come on, he could have done a little bit better than that. I mean, either way, it wasn't going to end good, and there was no good that was going to come out of it really. But
So let's get to the next great match.
Yeah, no, this match actually was good. It's just it got tarnished by bad booking, and it's a shame because I love Sasha and Bayley together. Like they're so great. Honestly, they were like not only the best part of SmackDown for me, but they honestly at this point they're probably becoming like the best part of the whole WWE at this point. So we'd have Asuka defending the Raw Women's Championship against Sasha Banks. Kairi Sane would be in the corner of Asuka, and we'd have Bayley in the corner of Sasha Banks. Obviously, it was a pretty good match. Toward the end, Bayley would try to get involved. She'd get in the ring. And how did this all go down again? Like, I'm trying to think.
Oh, so I got you. So Bayley would get in the ring and drop the title to Sasha, her tag belt. Then she would take her own title and get in the ring, pretend she was going to hit Asuka. The ref would then tell Bayley to get in the ring, and Sasha secretly had the tag belt. And then the ref saw Sasha with the tag belt, grabbed it, said, "You can't do that." Sasha ducked out of the way. Asuka spit in the ref's face, right? Remember?
Yeah, with the mist.
Yeah, and then, of course, the ref went down. Oh, my God, Sasha did a move on Asuka. And then Bayley got back in the ring and put the ref shirt on and counted 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and then she demanded that they ring the bell.
Yeah, and for some reason, that means Sasha Banks is your new Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're actually going to run with this, but, I mean...
That can't stand.
Could you imagine?
How would it? It doesn't make any sense for it to.
Either way, I'm convinced that this is going to go into SummerSlam, though.
Oh, yeah, it will.
There's no way that this is over.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'd be down for, I'd be down, for either another Sasha and Asuka match, or however they decide to do it, maybe Kabuki Warriors versus Sasha and Bailey. Maybe that's what they do. I mean, either way, I think that'd be awesome. But it's like really, it's like you could have done better than that. I hate when they do this like with the talents I enjoy watching too. I mean, I hate when they. I mean, I want everyone to. I want everyone to. If in a perfect world, it'd be nice if everyone, got featured well and whatnot. But it's wrestling, so it's like that. It doesn't really work that way. But it's like, I don't know. I just hate that. But yeah, then we'd have Then after that, we'd have the WWE Championship match. It'd be Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. Extreme Rules for Dolph Ziggler.
Just a blah match, really. It was okay, but it was just blah because Dolph was doing dumb stuff in the match for his stipulation.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this one earlier, too. Just not very good.
Yeah, I guess
it's just so random to have Dolph in this.
Yeah, as I said, it wasn't bad. It actually wasn't bad. Like, they did try to make it work. And I actually have Drew McIntyre as WWE champion. I think that he's I think he's like the total package. I mean, he could be intense. He could be serious. He's a really good wrestler in the ring. His promos are good. He could even be funny. He could do it all. So I think I really liked him as WWE champion. I haven't liked this as much as his last previous pay-per-view matches. I thought the match with Rollins, I actually thought that was really good. And I even thought the match with last year was pretty solid. But this I didn't like it as much. But as I said, I didn't think it was bad. I'd probably give a 2.5 if I was being honest. It was all right, but
same with me.
Yeah, but honestly, as I said, my favorite part was when Dolph yelled at Drew. He's like, "Why won't you die?"
And now our main event of the evening:
a Wyatt Swamp fight.
This made no sense.
Well, I said this for weeks. The second I found out that's what they were going to do, because originally I thought they were just going to do the old Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman, whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever, But then when I found out it was a Wyatt Swamp fight, I'm like, well, okay. Cinematic match number whatever we're on now, 6, 7, 8. Who the hell knows? Probably 6 or 7 at this point. I don't know. Who the hell knows? Who cares? But it was also non-title. Keep that in mind too. So you got the Universal Champion in the main event and the non-title match. See, if it didn't go on last, it wouldn't have been as bad. But either way, that's still kind of silly.
And it ended with The Fiend killing Braun Strowman?
Yeah, because throughout this, they try to drown each other. And also...
Braun set a man on fire.
He set a man on fire. There were masked men that were dressed up as Eric Rowan and Luke Harper attacking Braun Strowman when he was in the woods. He got hit behind by a shovel by an old version of himself.
Oh, God.
With the mask. I think I think you probably forgot about that one.
I gave this match half a star.
I don't know if I want to rate it. If I'm gonna rate it though, it at best it's a dud rating.
And you know what I gave the whole show as a whole? 4.5 stars.
Really?
Yeah.
For me, that's like a 3 or a 3.5 at best.
Well, I'm just more positive than you in general, I think.
No,
when it comes to WWE.
You might be maybe, but I don't know. This is definitely this is by far, in terms of the booking, everything, this is the worst pay-per-view of the year so far.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think we have some reminders though for people.
Yeah, so that was your Extreme. Yeah, well, the horror show at Extreme Rules. Mm-hmm. Not Extreme Rules 2020. They had to be the horror show at Extreme Rules. That's the other thing. If we're going to do a pay-per-view called the Horror Show at Extreme Rules, why the hell is it not in October? Honestly, if we're being honest here.
I don't know.
I mean, wouldn't that at least make a little bit more sense?
Who knows?
Because we're doing... Although, maybe right now, no month feels the same. They all feel kind of out of whack, Maybe there's that, but I don't know. But yeah, that was the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. That's our, I guess, review and recap. I mean, we did it a little bit differently this time. We kind of went a bit out of order and just talked about the state of the product and everything. But we just felt that this is probably the only way we could have done this one, really, just because. I don't know. I honestly am not going to lie. Going into this, I really didn't know how we were going to do it, and I really was not looking forward to doing it because I like coming on here and I love doing the show and I love talking about wrestling, like, and everything. Like when I do our rewind and everything, I'm always like super looking forward to doing it when I come on here, and usually doing most like pay-per-view reviews and recaps. I'm looking forward to it, even if it's not great. It's just what I love to do. But it's this one in particular, it got to me. So we had to come up with a plan beforehand of how we were going to get into this and pull this one off. But, yeah, that was the horror show at Extreme Rules. If you didn't like the pay-per-view, which I can't imagine, although I did read some people on Twitter, and apparently there were some people who I guess liked it. Maybe they were trolling and not being serious, and because I can't imagine how anybody really loved this. But, people are entitled to their opinion, so that is what it is. But we're going to run through some reminders here. Usually we do this in the beginning now, but I'm going to just do this at the end to close out. First being that if you have not heard last week's rewind number 32, TNA Slammiversary 2010, be sure to go ahead and check that out and give it a listen. It's just myself on that one, so go ahead and just please support and check that one out. And then also yesterday I gave my Impact Wrestling Slammiversary 2020 review as well, so if you have not, give that a listen. And then this past week on Tuesday, to be exact, we celebrated our 1-year anniversary of existence as a program from the exact date we started from with our very first show, which was actually Extreme Rules. It's Extreme Rules 2019, which is a far better show than this. Extreme Rules 2019 was actually probably one of WWE's better pay-per-views that year. But our first year, definitely a milestone without a doubt. It's been quite the journey getting to this point a year later. I mean, there's been a lot. We started in July of 2019. We've gotten to July of 2020. A lot has happened. Of course, there's even one period of time where we had taken like a little bit of a break and a little bit of an absence, but we came back in April with that big WrestleMania week where we delivered those WrestleMania rewinds. And on top of that, we finished with our WrestleMania 36 review and recap, so that was fun coming back. And since then, we've been back and we've had a show every single week, so we've been going pretty strong. Just appreciate the support since we've been back. Appreciate the support from the beginning, but being able to come back, especially during this difficult time, and being able to give somebody something to listen to and try to entertain people, that's been fun. So being able to maybe be an outlet for some, or if we were able to do so, that that's a great feeling to know that. So I'm absolutely proud of where we stand right now as a professional wrestling podcast. Very thankful for the support once again. I'm very glad I was able to have the opportunity with everyone to come on here and talk about something that I have an absolute passion for, and that's pro wrestling. And I touched on it a bit more in last week's rewind when I was also running through the reminders in the beginning about how the show came to be. I think that's something I'll touch on even a bit more on Tuesday's show. But once again, thank you, and I appreciate the support for the program's first year in. Then coming up on tomorrow afternoon, for Tuesday, there will be a special bonus edition of Rewind, which is what I was referring to with Tuesday's show, coming at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Originally, the show was not intended to be part of our lineup for July, but we later decided to throw that in there for you guys. So it'll be the Great American Bash 2008, continuing our theme of 2008 pay-per-views. That card will feature Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels, JBL versus John Cena in a parking lot brawl, CM Punk versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship, and in the main event, Triple H versus Edge for the WWE Championship. So we look forward to bringing you that guy. You look forward to bringing you guys that show as well. So the 1 year anniversary was last week, but we're going to have the bonus show this coming week just because there wasn't any time in between to make it happen. But regardless of the timing, we will once again have it ready for you guys to enjoy tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Then on Wednesday, sorry, it won't be a fourth show this time, but it will be something in relation to the program. With that being the final part in the part 3 of our summer lineup for the month of August. The shows we have planned for August have been decided, and we do have everything set. We're not going to announce anything here because then what would be the point of making the announcement on Wednesday be? So I won't spoil anything just yet, but probably the most I can say in regards to that is keep in mind that we do everything on here. Pretty much we do everything like themed and